Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're talking about 3 really versatile watches for spring. We've got a beautiful spring upon us this year. But first, I think we want to talk about a little bit of action from this past week at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Before we do that, what's on your wrist, Noah?
Today, going into kind of versatile pieces that we're talking about, I have my Nomos Zurich World Time white dial. This is one that's just a lot of fun. You know, we did the watch with Nomos years ago when I was getting into what was going to be my first nice watch. You'll remember we were between either a Datejust 36, like a mid-80s, or a Nomos Club Campus, and I lamented over that for months and months and months. Ultimately went with the Datejust, but then when we did the Carolina Watch Club watch, ended up getting Club Campus anyway. So this was kind of a fun one last year that tied back into those early kind of collection excitement notes that you have when you start buying a watch.
Yeah.
Nomos is a brand I've always really loved, and I think this does a great job. They're known for long lugs. This has long lugs.
It works well with that strap with a little cross stitch. It kind of like
it does.
it up.
And I feel like this has a little bit beefier lugs than some of their other pieces, so it helps it as well. But really awesome. It has a blue dial variant as well, but I thought the white was just a little bit more versatile. Came on a black strap, but as you pointed out, I put it on a brown.
I love it.
Brown level with a
little
little stitch. So
cool.
Yeah, what you got on
Awesome.
today?
I am wearing, in honor of the Super Bowl a couple days ago, the Breitling Chronomat 42 Carolina Panthers edition. So granted, they were not in the Super Bowl, nor were they
Even
close to the Super Bowl. No offense, Panthers, but I thought it was just fun to throw on and just super cool watch. It's been really neat to see what Breitling's done with this NFL partnership and see if they're all limited edition. We'll see if they run this back again in the future.
Yeah.
But it was fun to see a lot of the watch game out at the Super Bowl.
So much watch game.
It was, in some ways, really refreshing to see. In other ways, I'm like, how is he wearing that watch? And we all know probably what I'm talking about there. But it was pretty cool. We could do a whole episode just about that probably if we wanted to.
I think the two that stuck out the most to me were Michael Strahan. I think he had his Rainbow Daytona on. I can't remember if he did he do a Talking Watches? I want to say he did a Talking Watches or some kind of interview, and he had several different Daytonas, and then the Rainbow Daytona was one of them. And then there was a viral clip of Brady showing him one of his Jacob & Co. Just some god-awful yellow diamond thing. I don't even know what it was. It was tourbillon. Retails for
the caviar tourbillon, I think they call it. And I'm not that familiar with Jacob & Co., but that thing, the first moment I saw Tom Brady talking, I was like, whoa, didn't expect him to be wearing that. So it was interesting. I saw quite a few Patek Philippe's on it. Early in the evening, they were honoring quite a few people on the field, and there were some previous players or past players, I think it was.
There was,
wearing some pretty cool Pateks. I saw a Cubitus. I saw a 5968A with an orange strap. A lot of fun action out there. Quite a bit of Rolex.
Huge amount.
No surprise.
It's interesting. On the Cubitus, I was not a fan, but then you see it on a couple people, and it starts to. Was it John Mulaney? Or no, who's the? God, there's some British comedian. You guys can drop a comment below if you remember who it was. Gosh, it's gonna kill me. But he had one on with like a suit and like all done up, and it looked good on the bracelet. It
Granted,
did.
A lot of these guys are big guys that were wearing it last night or the other night, but it looks good.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be cool. We've said this a couple times on here. It's gonna be cool to see how the line develops.
It will. Absolutely. So
let's jump in.
Awesome. So we have picked 3 watches from the current pre-owned inventory that we feel are not necessarily one watch collections, but highly versatile. For spring specifically, but you could really wear these any time of the year by changing out the straps or putting them on a bracelet, whatever it may be. So we have gone kind of entry level-ish for luxury, relatively speaking. Kind of mid-tier, and then below the bank, just go crazy with this piece over here. So let's start down here. We have no surprise there, Tudor Black Bay. This is the 41. This is a 2023 or 2024 reference, I believe. Whatever year they went ahead and slimmed down that case. This is the 5-link Jubilee style bracelet. Not a Jubilee bracelet, but Jubilee style.
Jubilee inspired, yeah.
Yeah, inspired. And all around, just an incredible watch. What do you think?
Super cool watch. I think, we said, okay, we've got 2 great strap models here. This is a watch that looks amazing on this bracelet. It also could be perfect on a strap, multiple different colors. Burgundy's a fun color, like red in general. We've said this before on here, it's out there, but there's still not enough red-ish watches. And this is one that works in so many occasions. Could be a great fall watch, spring watch, any day watch.
Yeah.
Also, I love that Tudor's clearly moving in this direction, but it's a master chronometer. So it's taking their Black Bay ceramic idea, the movement from that, or the movement base from that, and running with it. And I think we're going to see more and more master chronometer within Tudor, which is cool. So it's the total package, and
it's great.
Like new pre-owned, but whether it's new or pre-owned, it's just a great watch.
It is.
It's slimmer, like you said. It's way less tall than the prior.
So much
Black
slimmer.
Bay 41, and really just wears super well.
I mean, I think I've always had an issue with people saying that Tudor was Rolex's, little sister brand, little brother brand, whatever you wanted to call it. I think really Tudor is in a place now where they stand on their own.
Totally
fantastic watchmaker. I mean, this is a great thing as someone, we both own quite a few stainless steel sport models from that other brand. And I think this is a really great contender, whether it's waitlist or different things like that. If you're looking for an alternative or you just want something different, this is a really, really great watch.
Yeah. Plus sort of gilt-inspired dial and everything. I mean, it's just...
And I think if you do the black bezel version of this, it's non-gilt. So if you're not necessarily into the gilt, you want something just that looks like a modern watch, which I still think this looks very modern. But, the black version is great as well. The more oyster-inspired, 3-link is a cool bracelet as well. Still don't like the rivets. Don't like the rivets, but they're not as noticeable.
It's slimmed down a little bit.
Great.
I like the rivets. I don't, they're faux rivets, but still, I appreciate but everyone's different, and it's a super wearable bracelet in its modern form.
Well, and I think what makes it the most wearable is the clasp. You have the updated clasp with the, I don't know what they call their version of Glide Lock or the Easy Link, but I don't know how many adjustments are
It's called T-Fit, but I don't know if
T-Fit, no, it is.
But I don't think, I don't know if the Glide itself is called the T-Fit or the whole clasp, but T-Fit is the clasp.
Roughly 1 link, regular size link that you're able to adjust in and out on the fly is fantastic. And then having that additional little lock there.
It's also not very tall for a clasp. It's like a very relatively slight clasp, which is nice.
That's my biggest issue with so many different watchmakers these days is they just don't do little things like that I think make it so much more wearable. Because throughout the day, you're expanding, contracting with your wrist and the amount of salt that you're taking in. So anyway.
We take in a lot of salt.
We do. A lot of salt and, the occasional Negroni. So
there you go. Yeah,
nothing wrong with
absolutely.
It. What's our second watch here?
We have a Panerai Luminor Due 42. So just kind of mid-size, you could almost say smaller Panerai, given how big Panerai gets with 44 and up to 47 in some cases, but slim, thin, still casual dress watch. I would say lifestyle watch by Panerai, but just super, super thin down and streamlined compared to the classic Luminor, and beautiful kind of ardoise, rhodium gray dial. Ardoise, I think that's a word for gray of some sort.
I believe you.
And just killer. And another one that maybe not every color strap in the world works with gray, but
huge amount.
Many, dark blue, black, brown. I mean, everything you can think. Another gray, perhaps, works with this dial. And as much as it still leans a little darker, seeing the luminous material come through the dial, it lightens it up for spring. I think it's got like a playful element to it.
Yeah, this is one. I was in the airport the other day going through TSA and no shoes are being taken off in the airport. But there was a guy that had one of these on, and I thought to myself, that could be the third Panerai that I try, because I love Panerai. I have one now, but it's a commitment to wear even the 44 millimeter case, which is, I would say, their entry size. This is a smaller, it's still a large watch, relatively speaking, to everything else. But 44 is kind of where a lot of them start, and then it goes up to 47. I think there's even a few that are 49. This is so wearable. When I was photographing it, I did the wrist shot of all the watches, and like this on the wrist is just, it's a really nice piece. And in isolation, if you take away the preconceived notions you have of Panerai, right? A lovely watch, and I think you could put this on rubber. It has, I believe, 100 meters of water resistance. I mean, this is something.
Thank God it was written on the back.
I know, yeah, with a fish next to it, so you can easily find it. But this is a great watch. It has the sub-seconds. Some of the Panerais don't have that. I think that's nice to have it as a date. If you're working.
Once again, pretty. I mean, for a Panerai, fits under the cuff so well, even better than the Tudor probably.
By any real watch standards, a fairly nice
Very
thin watch, especially
Very
for their water resistance. So, very cool watch. If you haven't checked out the Panerai Due line, I think it's interesting. If you want a 44, we've had a couple 44s from the Due line, and I think my favorite is the titanium with the blue dial that has a GMT. It's pretty cool, but that's a really awesome one.
All right. And
Last
we have
but not least.
the big boy here. We have the Vacheron Constantin overseas chronograph, which is in rose gold, I should say.
Yeah.
Which is just another 42 millimeters. So really, we're all working within relatively same size point here. Beautiful watch. I think this is an all-seasons watch, but once again, we have seen this watch come through with so many different strap options, from rubber straps to different leather colors, and silver dial in this case kind of lets you work with almost any palette for the strap. And another one that just feels like it was made for a strap, as nice as the bracelet version of this is in steel and everything as well.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking precious metal and Vacheron, it's hard to go wrong, right?
Yeah.
I believe, and don't quote me on this, ask Ben or someone in the store here, but I think this comes with 2, if not 3 other straps.
This particular one has quite a few straps in its arsenal as a previously enjoyed piece.
And the nice thing is when you feel the weight of really any Vacheron, but especially, or any overseas rather, but precious metal, this is already a fairly heavy thing. So on the bracelet, first off, you're looking at 20 or 30 extra grand.
Absolutely, at least,
but
right?
From a wearability perspective, it's a 42, but it's a large 42.
Yeah, this is the most substantial watch out here, not just because it's gold, but it has a little more height to it.
Yeah, so I think when you're looking at that, the strap is the way to go, and it comes on this beautiful brown leather. That I think is really great, and it's just overall a beautiful watch. I don't know that Vacheron gets enough love. Obviously, they get quite a lot.
It really doesn't. I think I was just talking to someone this morning about the Mercator, and that's just always been a watch that's near and dear to me. That it's not really anything that people are super excited about, but they make some unbelievable, or have made, I should say, some unbelievable watches historically, as we all know, and still one of the Holy Trinity Big Three. But I feel like culturally, they just haven't quite gotten themselves there of late, with the watch world.
That's kind of the cool thing, though, right? You want the thing that's in the Holy Trinity, but maybe isn't being so out there and overhyped.
With the 222 coming back in different forms, I think that's created a lot of energy and buzz, but you just don't want to see it become a mono
a cliche
type of, exactly. Like, clearly the exciting sports model is going to do well, which this falls into that category as well. But they just have so many unbelievable watches in there.
They do.
Deep history that, people are there's probably some good values out there.
I think it would be cool, Vacheron and then Breguet. Those would be like the 2 cool brands to really see surge.
So undervalued right now.
Yeah,
Not to make it about value, but they really just are super
Traditional. I mean, there's so many different pieces that they have that are just so cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so those are our top 3 picks for spring. Late winter picks here.
Any day of the year, really.
Any day of the year. These are great watches. Genuinely, any of these I would own very happily, and with our habit, probably will at some point. But anyway, as always, thank you guys for watching so much, and we'll see you next time. Be sure to like and subscribe. You want to start? Or want me to start?
What are we calling it?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
All right, hang on.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All you.
That's all me? Okay.